You know that moment when you scroll through a dozen treadmill listings, see sleek pictures, read promises of studio-grade performance, and then wonder if you'll end up with a noisy piece of metal that takes up half the living room and still feels like a cheap gym floor treadmill? I've been there, and I've also talked to a few friends who tried to squeeze a treadmill into a home office only to discover the foldaway claim was more marketing hype than reality. That's why I'm doing this deep dive on the Soul Fitness line, the F63, F65, F80, F85, and the newer TT8, so you can decide if any of these actually fit your space, your budget, and your workout style before you click Add to Cart. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First, let's talk about the core of every home treadmill, the motor. All the models in this family share a 3.0 HP continuous duty motor, which Soul markets as robust enough for marathon training. In practice, that rating means you won't feel the belt stutter when you hit the 12 miles per hour ceiling, and you won't hear the motor whining like a cheap consumer treadmill when you stay in the 57 miles per hour range for a long walk. For most home users who jog or walk for 3,045 minutes a day, the motor feels solid and stays quiet enough that you can keep a Zoom call going while you're on a light incline. If you're planning to sprint intervals at 12 miles per hour for multiple sets, the motor can handle it, but you'll start to notice a modest increase in belt vibration after a half hour of continuous high-speed work. The next thing people obsess over is the incline. The F65 and the TT8 give you a manual incline range that tops out at 15%, which is a sweet spot for simulating hill runs without buying a separate incline trainer. The F63 and F80 have a slightly lower max incline, around 12%. In real-world use, that extra 3% can make a noticeable difference if you're trying to burn extra calories or train for a hilly race. The incline lever is located on the side of the deck, so you can adjust it without stepping off, but you do have to lock it in place each time you change the grade. It's not a digital motorized incline, so there's a small learning curve. You'll hear a click and feel the belt shift, which some users find satisfying, while others prefer the silent push of a motorized system. Now let's get to the folding mechanism, because that's the main reason a lot of people consider a Soul treadmill in the first place. The F65 and TT8 have a release lever that drops the deck forward, reducing the footprint by about 50%. I've actually unfolded one in a spare bedroom that's only 9 feet long, and it fits comfortably with a small desk on the opposite wall. The lever is sturdy, but you need to engage the safety key before you fold, a good safety habit, but it does add an extra step if you're in a hurry. The folding action is smooth, but the deck is on the heavier side, so it's not something you'd want to lift on a daily basis. If you have a single-person household and you're okay with a bit of effort once a week to fold and unfold, the design works. If you're looking for a pop-out treadmill that a child could fold by themselves, you'll be disappointed. Space aside, let's talk connectivity. All models ship with Bluetooth, a tablet holder, and a USB charging port. The built-in speakers are modest. They're enough for a podcast or a low-volume playlist, but they won't replace a dedicated sound system. What I found useful is the ability to sync the treadmill speed and incline data to a phone app, the Soul Fit app, which tracks distance, calories, and heart rate if you're wearing a compatible chest strap. The hand pulse grips on the handrails also read heart rate, so you get a quick readout without a separate device. For people who like to log everything, this integration is a nice perk, but the app can be a little clunky when you're on a treadmill with a phone in landscape mode. The deck surface is a standard textured belt, which feels fine under running shoes, but can be a bit slick if you wear minimalist shoes with a lot of flex. The width is 20 inches, which is standard for most home treadmills, and the length is about 60 inches, enough room for a 6-foot stride, but if you're a taller runner who naturally overstrides, you might feel cramped at top speed. The treadmill also includes a set of preset programs: manual, hill, fat burn, and a few interval templates. They're functional, but not as deep as the virtual world programs you see on high-end models. If you like to follow a structured workout plan, you'll probably import your own intervals from a fitness app. So who should actually buy one of these Soul machines? If you're a remote worker who wants to break up the day with